I want to talk about my new Substack column. It's entitled, Progressivism is Dead, COVID-19 Killed It. Now, if you have followed me for many years, and you've read both my books, so I'm talking to all three of you, Ending Medical Reversal and Malignant, you will know that I am in fact, and most of my adult life, I have been a progressive. By progressive, I mean I'm somebody who identifies on the political left, perhaps even the far left. And what do I mean by progressive? To me, a progressive is someone who believes that government, its actions, its incentives, its regulation can be structured in a way that empowers average, everyday people, that improves the lives of all of us. And that's, to me, what progressivism means. And there are several values that come with a progressive platform that I believe are important. I'm going to talk about in this video. But I also believe COVID-19 threw us for a loop. And people who I was closest with, who were fellow progressives, have abandoned the progressive cause, and their mind is filled with madness. They have gone the other direction. They're promoting policies that make no sense, that are antithetical to what we believe. So let me outline the 4 things in this Substack post that I wrote on this topic. 1, progressives believe in freedom of speech. They believe in freedom of ideas. 2, a progressive society is judged not by how it treats the richest amongst us, but by how much it protects and how well it treats the poorest amongst us. 3, the problems in society are not the products of individual failures, of individual actions. They're the products of structures, of entrenched policies that can be fixed and corrected so that we have better outcomes. And 4, tolerance and compassion are key values of progressive philosophy. We are tolerant and compassionate people to how people want to live their lives. So what has COVID-19 done to us? COVID-19 has flipped all the progressive values on its head. Let's talk about freedom of speech and expression. The calls to censor opinions and scientific viewpoints that one disagrees with are most vociferous and passionate on the political left. They're unrecognizable to me in the way in which they wish to censor. 2, society judged by how it protects the poorest among us. I don't see that in their policies. Prolonged shutdown, sheltering the Zoom class of worker, closing schools, the greatest public health fiasco of 20 years, which will disproportionately hurt poorer and minority students. These were all ideas that were embraced by left-of-center cities, by strong teachers' union cities. And it appears to me that many of them were motivated simply in opposition to Donald Trump, not out of any real philosophy. And in fact, public opinion data by Vlad Kogan in a paper in AEI shows that that is the case. 3, structures. Progressives are supposed to be thinking about the structures of society. They're supposed to be thinking about the ways in which our entrenched views and bubbles and systems lead to bad outcomes. But instead, what we saw from the progressive side was constant shame and blame. Pre-vaccine, it were the libertines. It were the people who were out there gallivanting that was responsible for all the virus. Post-vaccine, it's those unvaccinated people. Those unvaccinated people for compassion and tolerance. I've never seen it disappear the way I've seen it disappear. I saw today on Twitter people celebrating the firing of nursing and police officers who declined to get vaccination. Some of these people who are being fired today for not getting vaccines were people who worked in March 2020, in April 2020, in hotspots around this country taking care of COVID-19 patients. They have people who sacrificed. They're blue-collar people. They're people who earn a living wage. They're people who are working middle-class people. And we're celebrating that they're being fired. Getting fired in America is a death sentence on your life. You may lose your health insurance. You may lose your livelihood. It has tremendous social implications. What's happened to progressives that we celebrate this? We have mandates in LA County schools. And if kids don't get 2 shots and they don't get it fast enough together, no matter what the risk of myocarditis is, they are thrown out of school. Is that a progressive ideology? That to me is one of the most regressive ideologies. And I have a piece out on that at US News and World Report right now. So I guess I'm deeply concerned with what progressivism means. And as somebody who is invested, I hope still, in the progressive cause, I see total abdication of progressive values from my fellow progressives. They have forgotten what it means. They're some of the people who've wanted to shield the richest amongst us the most. They're some of the people who've pushed for the most draconian restrictions and policies. They're pushing for blunt force and strong-arm tactics to achieve vaccination. They haven't articulated their goals. I believe we are in dire straits. So, what's the point I want to make here? I think we need a serious realignment if we're to come back from this. We need a realignment and to rethink what are our values, what are our goals, and then what policies facilitate that goal. We cannot be responsive to politicians that we may dislike on the other side. Sometimes those politicians say things that are right, like you ought to open schools. I don't know if we're going to come back from this, and I'm deeply afraid of where we will be. And that is, in fact, the theme of my Substack, which you should subscribe to. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment. But those are my thoughts COVID-19, it killed progressivism. It put us to the test, and we were unable to withstand it. We, in fact, became quite regressive, perhaps out of fear, perhaps out of anxiety. Until next time.